flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the BDA meeting, May 23rd, 5 p.m. Public participation. Sean, you speaking?
No.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the August, let me try it again, April 12th meeting and April 25th meeting.
So moved.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Correspondence. Motion to place on file recent media coverage.
Motion placed on file?
Second.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Motion to place on file downtown site public reach out plan.
Two sets. Yes. Motion to file?
Second.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 4, Board of Finance transfers.
Motion? Three of them? Two transfers?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First motion is to transfer $600 from the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program relocation account number 305-3011-587-232-14G04 to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program demolition account number 305-3011-5799900-14G04 and refer to the Board of Finance for necessary action.
Second.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Second one.
Transfer $5,891 from the 894 Middle Street Brownfield Project legal fees account number 1064101-533-100-15G07. You can tell I'm a banker. To the 894 Middle Street Brownfield Project professional fees and services account number 1064101-53100-15G07 and refer to the Board of Finance for necessary action.
Second.
Made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Number 3.
Request $50,000 appropriation for the grant revenue account number 1064101-431007-16G14 to fund account DECD Brownfield Assessment Grant accounts 1064101-5310000, 16G14 professional fees, and account 1064101-533-100-16G14 legal fees for the J.H. Sessions property.
Second.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. New business, Connecticut Brownfields Conference report.
Thanks. Just real quick, I want to back up for those motions for the transfers. I want to thank Kristen. The Hazard Mitigation Grant Program is an older grant that we received years ago. It was one of the last grants that I worked on. Kristen's taken that over and managing that program. That was where we were buying houses in the flood-prone areas and knocking them down. So that was for that. And then also the $50,000 piece, we don't want to skate over that. I know we've talked about it before at past meetings, but Dawn wrote a grant to Connecticut DECD to finish assessment work on the Sessions property, and that's what that was related to. So we're moving forward with those projects. Sort of related to that, we went to the Connecticut Brownfields Conference last week, Kristen, Dawn, and myself. We also brought our consultant, our engineering consultant, Tim Carr at Novus, and a guy named Ray Gennaro from Novus Engineering. And I thought it was very informative. The state, one thing that the state is doing well at the moment is funding brownfields, right? So the state is invested heavily. The state now gives more grant awards to assess and remediate brownfields than the federal EPA does up in Boston for the area. Guy named Tim Sullivan, who we're pretty close with at this point, came in, revitalized that program, and we really should be thankful for that department and what they're doing. Like I said, Dawn just wrote a grant. We're going to finish assessment work on the Sessions building, and we're working really hard on the 894 Middle Street property as well. Dawn just submitted a grant for that to clean it up. We're awaiting word on that. So I thought it went real well. I thought we were represented pretty well. We even had a booth. We took the opportunity to have a booth at the event to hopefully meet up with developers and other folks interested in our properties. And we did have a couple of leads from that afternoon. So I thought it went well. Just want to give you a little update on our brownfields.
Excellent. Motion to accept the place on file?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. We've already done item B. Item C, Neighborhood Assistance Act.
In your packets, you have the list of the organizations that applied to take part in the Neighborhood Assistance Act. And so tonight, it would be good if you were to approve it, and then it can go to the City Council and then to the Department of Revenue Services.
Make the following motion,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, to approve the list of organizations eligible for the 2016 Neighborhood Assistance Act and to forward to the Bristol City Council for approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Item D.
I just wanted to provide a quick update to the board on our most recent projects in the business park. That's the Uniprop Pods project on lot number 1, the large warehouse, and of course AMCO, which is the smaller machine manufacturer. Just so you know, you all have approved those site plans and projects prior. We talked about minor changes to the Uniprop Pod site plan. If you remember, they received their approvals from the city, but needed to get to the state level and needed to approach CONDOT, Connecticut Department of Transportation, to receive approvals on their plan because it's on a state roadway and it's a building of a certain size. CONDOT came back and said for the entrance and exit, the west entrance and exit closest to Middle Street, CONDOT wants that to be a one-way road rather than a two-way. So we've talked about that before here. Just so you know, they submitted their site plan changing that from from a two-way to a one-way. I believe planning is going to address that Wednesday of this week. When that is approved, we'll come back next month, Howard, to your point, have the board officially note that as the most up-to-date plan. So we'll do the votes next month on that. Similarly, AMCO came through, received its approvals a month or two ago from this board. Since then, AMCO has decided basically to make 2 changes to its site plan. The first is they want to add 112 square feet to the office space. All that means is that the front of the building is going to get bumped out about a foot on each side, or a foot or a couple of feet on each side. That will get them extra square footage. From a look standpoint, it will also, the view to the side of the building will be limited, so you get that nice sort of office stucco look, if you remember their site plan in the front, and you won't be able to see the metal siding on the side of the building. That change, along with taking out 4 or 5 trees in the front of the building and replanting with new trees, those were the changes. We looked at it on an administrative level. I talked with Commissioner Rivers about this as the chair of the Industrial Committee. We were able to sort of give them our blessing because it didn't conflict with any guidelines. But the same thing, they're going in front of planning this week as well. Next month, once their changes, they're minor. I don't anticipate any changes from the Planning Commission. Once it's approved, we'll come back for that map, to Howard's point, and get that one recorded as the most updated map.
Justice,
Yeah.
Uniprop. Can't we make a motion? I mean, that's the changes that they're asking to be done is by the state. So we have really, planning is going to have no choice but to accept that plan. So can't we make a motion tonight to accept the changes subject to planning's approval?
Yeah, and actually, I'm not even asking you to make a vote on the changes because I know that we took care of them administratively. The vote next month will be just to accept their site plan as the most recent plan. If just to file it. If they get their approvals at planning, they could start this week. We're not holding them
All
up.
right, that was my concern.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So can I have a motion to accept and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. New business by commissioner, starting my far left.
Nothing.
None.
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 Chair has none. Old business by staff, program updates.
By the end of the month of June, we're going to be current with all of our projects except for the Lake Avenue roof at Bark. And we'll be current with our 5-year plan from 2015 to 2019. And so our year ends June 30th, 2016, and we sent in our annual plan for year 42. That starts in July, and we're just waiting for HUD approval.
motion to approve the extension to 9/30/16 for Bark,
If you care to. make
because
that
it falls
extension.
off the parameters,
Right, it's
because we
been
would now to take that money and reallocate it.
one year, yes.
It's
So
past the year, so I think in order to do that, we have to vote on that, that we approve that extension
Thank you.
only till 9/30/16.
Why is this still being held up?
So much higher. Right?
John, would you like to explain that?
Yeah, what happened was the bids went out through Roger, and the prices came back very high from what they were expecting. So they're talking with their board to even use the money or not. You know, they're gonna spend $60,000 to get 30 from us, or whatever it is.
So through the chair, so
The
they're,
bids
they're, they're debating whether or not they're gonna even use the, so how soon would we know? Because those funds could be reallocated.
Yeah, Judy Gavin
I
said,
mean, we'd like to reallocate those
yeah.
to, there are organizations that could use it now.
But they have time still, right? Excuse me, through
Yeah,
the chair.
it's,
When is their drop dead date for the grant? June?
Well, it would be the 1 year, but that's why I'm asking for an extension.
Oh, what would the date be, the 1 year date? June?
The 1 year date is June 30th.
June 30th.
Yeah, and I think they will know by then.
Yeah, they're having a board meeting to discuss it, and they're waiting for a few estimates that they got.
Well, as chair of the policy committee, I don't have a problem with the other members giving them 3 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as
Then
long as
if
you
they
put a
don't
time
do it-
limit on it.
When's the board meeting, this month?
Yeah, I believe it's this month.
So we have still plenty of time, we don't have to do an extension, we could give an extension in June's meeting.
Yes.
So let's wait and see what the board says.
If they remove their
Yeah,
application, then
let's-
we have to reallocate it.
Yeah,
So let's wait until June and then we could take it up then.
that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all we did our Neighborhood Assistance Act a few minutes ago, so we're set.
Motion to accept and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Economic development update.
I just call out a couple of projects on my list. One thing is, and I think we talked about this last month, but Supernatural and Bob's Sports Chalet were recently awarded grants to the Mayor's Economic Development Fund. We don't often give grants to these types of entities, but for businesses that have been in Bristol for years, have established that local following that we trust, we can talk about that. And these two types of businesses, I think, fit that mold. Supernatural specifically, I think I singled this out at the downtown meeting. It's a great project in many ways, but one way, very simply, they're coming deeper downtown is the way I sort of look at it. And the more of those businesses with that name recognition, with the loyal following, frankly, businesses that people trust in town, the more they commit and buy into downtown, the better, right, for downtown. So I thought that was a great story. But also Bob's, obviously, longtime business, building a new facility, and again, in that area, that Pine Street area, high traffic counts, but I think that it was in need of this, I call it like a higher quality retail experience kind of thing. It needed that, and I hope that Bob Shelley's a shot in the arm, and hopefully we'll see some spillover effect in some of the properties around it. So those are good projects. Also, really quick, this is an early project, but I have every confidence that it's going to be going forward. Arthur G. Russell is one of our great manufacturers up on Clark Avenue. Arthur AGR manufactures the machines that make medical devices and medical equipment, like the little syringes and little, things to deal with drawing blood. AGR is expanding. AGR is adding on 20,000 square feet of new construction to his building. So that's no different from someone coming in and building a brand new building. 20,000 square feet, that's serious tax revenue, new employees. If you remember, last year AGR purchased a competitor, a company called Nodyne. We talked about it here. Well, here they are reacting to that purchase. And we had press releases and we talked about, now they're establishing their base here and they're going to be adding employees. Well, here you go. They're building 20,000 square feet. So that's a good news story.
Question to the chair.
Yeah.
Are they going back?
They're going to the side.
So left?
If you're looking at the building, they're going to the left. Yeah. Closer to like
New departure,
new departure. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anything else? That's it, Justin?
Yeah.
Motion to accept the place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Old business by Commissioner, starting my far left.
No.
I have one question for Justin.
Mhm.
Wasn't CMI supposed to expand?
Yeah.
Do you know when they're going to start?
So
that?
I've been told spring, so it should be any time now. They have, their site plan approvals. They were just looking for warmer weather, and
Okay.
there's a stipulation built into the contract about we can't have folks buying up industrial land and sort of sitting on it. So we'll get back with Joe. I just talked with Joe a couple of weeks ago around the time GMN did its ribbon cutting. So we'll stay on them, but I anticipate them starting this year.
Anything else?
Nothing?
Chair has none. Committee reports, downtown committee.
So I guess Mayor, John, and Dave, I'll leave it to you, and maybe I could fill in the gap. I'm talking too much, you guys.
We had a meeting
Last Thursday.
Thank you, last
Yeah.
Thursday. And the hospital gave us an update. They're on track. They're looking at around 150,000 square foot building. Hoping to go out. I forgot what was in that press release, so I don't want to say too much.
So they're working with Jones Lang LaSalle is their vendor that is handling the competitive bid process. Again, we've talked about it, but Bristol Hospital is going to be going out to bid RFP to find a developer. So they're working. Jones Lang LaSalle is working on that process at the same time. Their engineers and architects are working on the site plan. The general sort of look for the building, and they haven't gotten much farther than this, but it's going to be fronting Riverside Avenue mainly, and then extend probably about halfway up Main Street. Is that fair to
About
say?
where the driveway is now.
Yeah.
For the old McDonald's entrance.
Yeah. So they have a kind of a general design layout for the building, but they just haven't gotten farther than that. They have a lot of balls in the air. Handling that RFP process combined with designing a property this complex, and don't forget, one of the serious tasks that they have to do is all of the specialists that they're putting into that building, they have to coordinate with each one of those to determine the needs of that specialist, right? What they need in their environment. So you got to figure out, A, what each space is going to look like, B, where you're going to put it so it fits in with all the other services. So a medical arts building, I'm learning, is just what a task to sort of plan out.
And they're also going to be putting in their own parking structure. So
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
There's
too.
structure there, yeah.
And that's pretty much, I think that was our meeting. Any questions on that?
June 3rd is the final deadline for the renaming of Depot
Good.
Square. If
Good
whatever
point.
we have
Yeah.
that comes through our website.
Good point, John.
and,
So the BristolAllHeart.com has the survey for folks to tune in to log on to give their suggestions for a name change, whether you want to change the name or leave it the same. And we promoted that. That was in the paper, I think, last week. I want to say June 3rd is the deadline. I think it was incorrectly reported that June 30th was the deadline for folks to submit their ideas. I got to get with the Bristol Press on that, because the idea is that we did a deadline in early June so that at the downtown committee's meeting in June, they can make the decision on the name. So that's the thought process there. The other thing that occurred at the downtown meeting was Malone and McBroom came in. Malone and McBroom is doing a ton of work, and it's work all over the map, but literally. But they're obviously working on a sort of a master plan for the site to indicate roadways, gathering spaces, where utilities are, etc. But one thing that they're really helping with is, and they met with Bristol Hospital, by the way, last week. They're helping the office and the mayor, as Kristen and I go out and market the site, and the mayor does. They're helping us get a hold on what areas are available that we can market now, right? This is one of the things, Mickey, you're nodding your head. When we met downtown committee, the idea was, yes, we need to plan out the site, we need to take our time and figure out what it's going to look like, but at the same time, we don't want to pass up opportunities now. That being said, there are a lot of moving parts. Bristol Hospital's doing its thing, so it's not easy, but we're working like heck to pull it off. We are working with a developer on a potential project it's early. There are a lot of unknowns, but Malone McBroom has been very helpful with that. And then, of course, they're also, Malone McBroom, I think Kristen, we're meeting with them tomorrow. They're coming in and they're sort of planning the public outreach and how to get out into the public to get the public's involvement and encourage the public to get involved with this process. Meaning, the way the site will look, the types of maybe entities that we'll market to go onto the site. So, a lot going on downtown.
Anything else on downtown? Motion to accept, place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Marketing committee.
We had our last meeting last Friday. Just a couple things so Justin mentioned the website, bristolallheart.com. Statistics show that we're getting more and more hits off of that site. Our goal is, from the beginning to end, that's a portal that's going to be a go-to place. So there's a lot of efforts going on about building awareness of the portal. We're also, now that it's gotten warmer finally and people are starting to think about, schools getting out and things to do, we're working on, what events that we can be part of, what events that we promote, whether it's the opening of the Blues on June 3rd. We've got a military half marathon going on. Cortland Hall's there's a lot going on. So there's a lot of things with that. There's a business push that businesses will then place decals in their storefronts. A lot of things that we're trying to go after is using that portal. That to us is the lowest hanging fruit, of getting people to go there so organizations can be putting their events there. That'll be the go-to place. So a lot of things going on. I know there's budgets that are going through.
Yeah, if I could just add just 3 little bullets. The budget. So my goal, I spoke with Cindy Scoville at the Chamber last week. The goal is for June City Council to get a budget request for next year into the council. So Cindy and I are kind of working with that. I think the next meeting is like June 14th, the next council
Just
meeting.
the net contract also has to be re-upped. It's a one-year contract.
Yeah, so they have the contract now, so we're kind of going back and forth with it. So that's all, I'm looking at June City Council for that. Just the sign, we're going to be working with Cortland to get the sign on the outfield wall, Bristol All Heart on Ed Muzzy. And actually I'm working with Ed we're working with Ed on a separate metal sign on the Muzzy structure somewhere.
We should also add,
the entrance.
we're branding the, I don't know what we call it, the outdoor theater that goes around, the portable theater, that'll be branded All Heart. And then a lot of things are not only to reach within Bristol, but to reach outside of Bristol, that Bristol's a good place to come. Again, we say this all along, it's a combination of city, business, and citizens, so volunteers. So really just trying to get the word out that Bristol's a good place to, again, shop, live, and work.
A plug for our Facebook, I was talking with Kristen about this. Kristen does Facebook posts all week. They're all really good, and we're getting a lot of traction on our Facebook page. So, folks, I give you the updates once a month here in this room, but obviously, please go to our Facebooks, like our stories, share it with people, because it's all good stuff. It's like what Mark's doing just for the office. So, we're working on that and some other marketing opportunities. We have a business expo. Oh my gosh. June 9th. So we'll be Kristen and I will get out to the Business Expo once again this year. We'll have our booth, we'll do our thing. We always get a couple good leads every year. I think it's good for us to just go dust off the trade show booth and get out there. So we'll do that June 9th and hopefully more in store.
Well, let me add one thing, and I'm going to do it in marketing, even though it doesn't belong here. The BDA conference room has been updated. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We went to Glenn. It was really outdated, needed some. We're trying to bring companies in, and I said in one meeting, and I was pretty embarrassed. So the Board of Finance approved the new furniture, new paint, new seal. Do we do ceiling tiles?
Yeah.
Ceiling tiles, carpeting, and it looks like a completely different room. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's going to be nice now, bringing businesses in there to a place that they'll feel comfortable, that it's not outdated to the 60s.
Dawn sent me an email right before we came down here and said we need to dust everything off because we have DEEP and the ECD coming in on June 1st. And it's true, we'll hang the pictures and then it'll be ready to go. So we're excited about our new conference. Thanks, Mayor.
Anything else? Motion to accept and place on file the marketing committee.
So moved.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, motion adjourned.
Aye. Motion, second.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Ooh, look on that last one. You guys do an annual, so I just used it by the. Yeah, it didn't work. Posting on Facebook?